a big douchebag.
Yeah, please do that.
We're here for a rehearsal session of A.C.T's Stuck Elevator. So we're just checking out the songs that they're singing. It's a unique blend of both speak and opera.
I'll be fishing in, I'll be fishing, I'll be fishing for breath when there was not his final curve.
I figured something out, and I figured I wasn't in their way. So I didn't hear you say stop.
Directing is all about asking the right questions, and what I like to do is every time when I see a piece over and over again, I'm hoping that I'm able to see it with new eyes.
Yes.
You know, so I peel away things and I allow myself to play. So often when I do make mistakes and I say it's a wrong thing, I tell the cast, so we understand that we're at play.
Yes.
We're trying to create this thing so there's no right way or wrong way. And sometimes things happen, like you may have seen this piece earlier, that the all-tanker people moving. That was really new because I was actually thinking about it when I was in the cab from Chicago to here today. And I realized that the cab jolted, and I realized that's part of the piece.
I'll get you out of the Bronx.
I don't live in Bronx. Twee! Marco!
Kwang, your boss is racist against men.
I love what the play was all about because it's about immigration, it's about identity, and I felt like there was a truth that I haven't heard in a long time in any piece that is being articulated about immigration, and this was specifically very specific to the Asian American community, and I kind of love that. I don't usually have the opportunity to work on a lot of pieces that actually articulate the contemporary nature of immigration. Usually in Asian American work, we hear about generations from before, you know, Gold Mountain or the Japanese immigration or the Filipino immigration. It's kind of historical, but this is a very contemporary piece about immigration that's happening right now and here. So I was actually immediately fascinated by it.
So this is a really interesting premise on a real story of a delivery man who is an illegal immigrant stuck in an elevator.
Yes. So
In this play, how does it work if you're Marco? Are you interacting with Wong, or how does that work in terms of the staging in that aspect?
Yeah, it's the reality of this premise makes a really interesting theatrical experience for the audience, because it's just a story of him stuck in this elevator, but as he's stuck in it for a long time, eventually the audience sees hallucinations and memories that kind of invade his space while he's in the elevator. So the elevator disappears, and you meet people that he works with, people that he lives with, his family back in China, and it's kind of like a fever dream. Just memories meld into hallucinations, and it's a pretty unique experience.
No drugs are involved, just hunger.
No drugs are
right?
involved, just hunger. Yeah, yeah.
Music comes in, it's so beautiful. So I think now the text is upstaging the scene. I think the immigrant story is definitely the pulse and the heartbeat, definitely, of American literature.
Yeah.
And this is another chapter of it. So even though it's very specific and unique to the struggles of this particular character, Guang from China, I think it's truly an all-American story.
Yeah, I think I relate to it at several levels. Just watching the rehearsals, my parents immigrated, to Canada, and then just watching the stuck elevator. I think it's also a metaphor just for anybody feeling like they're stuck or trapped in a certain position in their lives, and trying to move ahead and trying to really seek out what is that success and what is that happiness.
Well, specifically as a Mexican immigrant, it's different from a Chinese immigrant because the crossing over the Mexican border is through a desert. Whereas for Chinese immigrants, they have to come over the ocean. So it's kind of interesting to see that.
Water, desert.
Yeah, water, desert, and fighting those elements and having to work so hard to get across and work for what people who grew up in the States might feel is like no money, but the exchange rate when it goes back home is like pretty incredible.
Yeah.
And it's able to provide a lot for their families back home.
And I think the elevator too is beautiful in that wonderful metaphorical way that most people are stuck. you know, and they are part of something that is of service to a lot of people. And we forget that a lot of illegal immigrants basically service this country in so many different ways.
Yeah.
I read in a place where everything that you buy from the store and that you eat has been touched by an illegal immigrant. And particularly in California, we know about the Mexican immigration. Yes. If you see a Mexican gardener, he's one of the few lucky ones that have crossed the desert to be here. And you don't realize that he's working for $30 a day, and he has seen and smelled and maybe even experienced a bit of death along the way. So these are the people in which we build the country, on these backs of these people. It's less an anthem, because anthem feels like it's strident, but this is a beautiful hymn. It has to be sung, the hymn of the common man in a way.
Yeah, because it has different things to reflect on, and
yeah.
it's not just about the glory.
No, it's about the hardships and yes, the glory too.
Did you ever talk to this person or wonder about that? Or
we did, but you know what I like sometimes about in theater is sometimes some people like to go to the source a little bit. I tend to go away from it because I like the objectivity, especially as an immigrant. You know, I see this country, as I always said, like in one of those awful little stories where I'm the match girl. You know, I can see this country objectively from the outside. So I'm able to actually create that dialogue instead of being too close to something. So using that frame, that context, I begin to explore and ask questions of who this person really is. Now in reality, this person basically, the character Guang is based on, ultimately was released from the elevator, and there was huge press about this person, and they found out he was illegal. He immediately went to hiding. So to this day, he's probably illegal still and hiding from the public. And there were rumors that he may be in Philadelphia. So to hunt him down would be kind of difficult.
Yes, and also probably maybe a disservice. Maybe it's
right.
Maybe, you know, in passing he'll see this or he'll hear about it and he'll feel like part of his story is told,
right.
or part of.
Which is true. Or he'll probably want royalties, payments, extortion.
You'll get
giving ideas now, but
you'll get a letter in the mail.
I know.
No.
That's my life story. I should have some money out of it.
Send him to Carrie Perloff.
Exactly. She'll pay for it.
I just thought you were actually competing with.
No, we're not very competitive. No.
Damn it! I was playing off that. Okay, never mind. Let's start again. I thought they were arch nemesis.
There's that
but
scene
really,
at the end where you murder him.